Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is when you finally get to see these athletic awards. I gotta say in advance that I would much rather talk in front of 10,000 people than in front of this camera that's sitting here in front of me. Before I really get started good, I just want y'all to know that these awards are for fall and winter sports. If your child participated in a spring sport only, we're not doing awards for that season, so you may want to tune off, but I would love you to stay and watch. We are recognizing those students as if they played in the spring sports season. We played 5 baseball games, 3 soccer games, and 3 softball games, I believe, and didn't get to a track meet, but for awards like Triple Crown, Roper, etc., it was recognized as if they did play those seasons. Thank yous. First, I'd like to thank our Booster Club. They put us in our uniforms, provide so much support for our entire athletic program. We have a lot of Booster Club parents whose children are graduating here in the next week. We would love new members, not just to join the Booster Club, but to actually be active in the Booster Club. Email me if you're interested. I really appreciate Missy Sawyer for, I think, the last 8 or 9 years being very involved in our Booster Club. I'd like to thank Bill Norton. I didn't put the trophies up here. Your child, if they're a senior, they'll be able to get it at graduation. Underclassmen, when we start summer workouts and things such as that, we'll figure out a time for them to come by and get those. On the subject of summer activities, stay tuned to the Camden County High School Facebook page and also the Camden County High School Athletics Facebook page, and we'll be able to provide you with information regarding summer workouts, tryouts, the guidelines that we're going to have to follow this summer, etc. Big thank you to Allison Harris, who is the Chancellor of Camden County High School. She does a great job with paying officials, all of our different accounts by sport. She's on top of everything, and if you make a mistake, she's going to let you know. I'd like to thank Mike Reeves and Chris Fields, our assistant principals at Camden Early College and Camden County High School. They're at all kinds of events. You see them everywhere using their time to help on the gates and just support Bruin athletics. And finally, Amber Davis, who is out here more than me, which that's a lot of hours. And she's at everything, and she really loves these kids, and I really appreciate having her as my boss. And like I said, she's probably working 90 to 100 hours a week for our kids. I think it's time to go to lunch. I'd like to thank Jerry Bonita, who volunteers here at the school and is willing to do anything that I need or that the school needs, whether it's weed eating, whether it's picking up trash, whether it's pulling a kid aside and giving them some kind words. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you to your parents. I've been at Camden for 25 years, and the reason I've stayed is because of the kids. And most of that is a reflection on good parenting. We don't have problems that a lot of other places have, thanks to you. I'd like to thank my wife, Melissa, for sharing me with Camden County High School for so many years. I'm here much more than I'm at home, and I appreciate her for being flexible. Scott Jones, always thank him. I learned more in my life from Scott Jones than any book, any webinar, any class I've taken. He was a great man, and he did put our kids first. I'd like to thank Centera, and thanks Centera for sending us Bernie Stasko, who is the best athletic trainer on the planet. Your child probably is, if they haven't seen him yet, they'll see him this summer, for sure. And my coaching staff. I have a great coaching staff who loves your kids and who goes above and beyond to care for them, coach them, teach them about life, a little bit of everything, and I do appreciate it. Let's go on to our awards. Our first award, our first team we're going to recognize is the cheer teams. This year we actually had, I appreciate Jessica Williams, Lauren Riggs, and Tanisha Parker for all playing a role in coaching these young ladies. August to March or the end of February is a really, really long season. And it's always has its ups and downs. All right, but through that, they won their 8th straight conference championship. I don't know that we have another sport that's won 8 conference championships in a row, so congratulations to these ladies. First awards from our JV cheerleading team. The Coaches Award is going to Samantha Eddy. The Outstanding Leadership Award is going to Alina Brady. We had 2 all-conference for the fall season and 2 all-conference cheerleaders from the winter season. From the fall season, our all-conference was Rachel Tarkington and Bryn Williams. And from the winter, our all-conference were Shelby Hardwick and Soraya Lassiter. Finally, our varsity cheer awards. The Team Spirit Award goes to Lizzie Fields. Our Coaches Award goes to Shelby Hardwick. And our Outstanding Leadership Award goes to Soraya Lassiter. Now we're going to move to men's and women's cross country. Our coaches who, in this schedule, everybody couldn't be here, so they sent me what to read. Keep in mind that some of these I'm reading as if I'm that coach, okay? So just preparing y'all for that. And this is from Miss Black, who couldn't be here today. What a memorable cross-country season we had. I couldn't imagine coaching a more dedicated team. You all pushed through the hard workouts and most of the time did it with a smile. Because at the end, we all had the same goal in our minds. Both the boys and girls teams were very successful this past year. The boys team had a strong season and came out with a 6-1 record. They always worked as a team and pushed each other at practice. This led them to the conference championship. Their next goal was to compete at the state championship meet. They had a lot of tough competition at the regional level, but they persevered and placed 4th, earning them a spot at the state championship meet. I'm very proud of each and every one of you boys. The girls team also had a very successful year. This group of girls knew they were blessed with some great talent and had 2 goals in mind. First, they wanted to become regional champions, and second, to place high at the state level. Their hard work and drive through every practice led them to just that. They had an undefeated 7-0 conference meet season, which then turned into a conference championship. They placed 2nd at the Panther Invitational and went on to win the championship meet at the largest cross-country meet in eastern North Carolina, the Bow Run Invitational. Next was regionals. These girls wanted nothing more this season than to stop the reign of Lejeune's regional championship. The day of the regional, these girls ran with power and determination. 4 of the 5 top girls placed in the top 7 runners, which pushed them into the first ever in school history regional championship in cross country. Hannah Healy was the regional individual champion. Keely Williams came across the line shortly after and placed 3rd overall, followed by Autumn Healy, Katie Langton, and Stella Sophia. The girls truly ran a perfect race that day. The next stop was the States. At the state championship meet, the girls placed 5th overall. That's the highest a cross-country team has ever placed in Camden school history. I know the girls did everything they could that day and tried to overcome a lot of obstacles along the way. Girls, you made me proud. Before the team awards, we're going to do all-conference. We had 3 young men make the all-conference team. Ethan Osborne, Thomas White, and Darnell Santiago. We had 7 young ladies make the all-conference team. Hannah Healy, Keely Williams, Autumn Healy, Katie Langton, Abigail Jones, Tia Royal, and Stella Sophia. Hannah Healy was also the runner of the year for the conference. All right, our boys awards. The Run Happy, Work Hard Award. This award goes to a boy who always smiled through the workouts and meets, pushed through pain during races, and was determined to help his team achieve their goals no matter what. He always finds a way to make us laugh during some of the hardest times. but yet can flip the switch and run with power and determination. This award goes to Darnell Santiago. Our runner of the year. This award goes to the senior who has become a strong leader on the team and always pushed himself and his teammates to be better. I have watched him transform into an amazing runner and young man. He truly has a gift to work with others and push them to get better. He will be missed as much as we wish him the best as he moves on to the next step in life. The Runner of the Year award goes to Ethan Osborne. For our girls awards, the Run Happy Work Hard award. This award goes to a girl who pushes to be better every day, has a positive attitude no matter what the circumstances, and always is there to lift teammates up with a smile. She has shown a lot of growth this season, and her drive to achieve her goals has been very evident. This award goes to Katie Langton. Our Coaches Award goes to a senior who has pushed herself to become better and has helped her team achieve their goals throughout the season. She was always there for her team through the ups and downs and never let the tough situations in the race stop her. She is going to be truly missed, and we wish her the best as she moves on to college. This award goes to Autumn Healy. And finally, the Runner of the Year. This award goes to a senior who has become a very strong runner and woman. She has led her teammates to several championships this year and always pushed them along the way. Watching her become a leader on the team has been a privilege. She is going to be missed by so many, but we wish her the best as she moves on to her next steps in life. The Runner of the Year award goes to Hannah Healy. I just want to thank my athletes for a memorable season and for making my love of the sport continue to grow. Always remember, run happy. Now here to do JV and Varsity Volleyball, Coach Ashley Miller.
I would like to recognize all of the JV volleyball players for the 2019-2020 season. Sophomores were Lizzie Adman, Mackenzie Boos, Krista Dell, Savannah Keaton, Jade Mitchell, Kennison Parker, Sam Smith, and Sydney Tatum. We had one freshman, Caroline Pate. I would also, at this time, like to recognize all of the varsity volleyball players for the 2019-2020 season. Seniors were Carly Blizzard, Haley Bond, Trenace Chambly, Hannah Daggett, and Hannah Ferry. Juniors were Caitlin Knaus and Madison Pate. Sophomores, Michaela Knaus and Cameron Nash. Freshmen, Peyton Carver and Tessa Forehand. And our managers were Tanaya Swinson, Summer Forbes, and Peyton Korsnowski. I would like to thank all the players and their parents for their dedication to our volleyball program. We started workouts in late April last year, and we had workouts throughout the summer. Thank you to the players for always showing up and putting the work in. Thank you to the parents for supporting your daughters and our team. Thank you to the faculty and staff for your support throughout the school year. Thank you to my assistant coach, Jill Robertson, for all of her help this season. Thank you to the PE department that I work with over at GPS and CIS, Coach Kuno and Coach Lowe, for always listening to me and letting me vent. We have what seems to be like a coach's meeting every morning during the seasons, and I don't know what I would do without that time. Thank you to my family for all of their help at home that allows me to coach from April to November. I would not be able to coach without you all. And last but not least, thank you to Coach Harnley for everything you've done to help in making the volleyball team a successful program at CCHS. Now I'll talk about the JV volleyball season. The JV volleyball team had an almost perfect season, with finishing the year 22-1. This team tied for first place in our conference. I'm so proud of all of these girls. They were a lot of fun to coach. These girls worked hard and improved daily. This is a special group of players who are going to be extremely hard to beat in the next 2 years. The talent that was on this team this year is hard to find, and I look forward to coaching them in the years to come. The first award I'm going to give to the JV team is the Offensive Player of the Year. This award is going to someone who has grown so much over the past 2 years. I have seen her confidence grow along with her knowledge of the game. This player played in both JV and varsity games this year. She was called up to play when we needed her on the varsity team, and she didn't miss a beat. When I think about the type of player I want in a hitter, I think about someone who is respectful, who listens, who wants to learn, who works hard, and who is a great team player, and she is all of these. I look forward to coaching her the next 2 years. The Offensive Player of the Year goes to Kennison Parker. The next award I'm giving is the Defensive Player of the Year. This award is going to someone who absolutely loves the game. She is aggressive, she is a fighter, she is vocal, she's encouraging to her teammates, she loves to be challenged and pushed to become better. She even likes me to yell at her. She is someone I look forward to coaching and pushing the next 2 years. The Defensive Player of the Year award goes to our libero, Sam Smith. The last award I'm giving to the JV team is the Coaches Award. The Coaches Award goes to someone who demonstrates leadership, sportsmanship, respect, and is a coachable player. This award is going to someone who was challenged this year in many ways. She played a position that only she could play, and she did a great job. She was involved in almost every play that came over on our side of the net as our setter. She made great choices and hustled after every ball, and even some balls that some setters might not even try to attempt to get. She is someone who is very knowledgeable of the game, and it shows. I look forward to coaching her the next 2 years. The Coaches Award goes to Sydney Tatum. Now I'll talk about the varsity volleyball team. The varsity volleyball team had another amazing season. We finished the season 22-6 overall, 8-2 in our conference, which landed us in second place in the conference, and we made it to the third round of the state playoffs. We ended up losing to Falls Lake Academy, who ended up winning the 1A state playoffs again. When I look back at our season, I think of a lot of things. I think of all the wins, a couple of the losses, all the practices, team camp at UNC, kids camp, fundraisers, scouting other teams, watching film, locker room chats, dinners, tie-dye shirts, dig pink games, bus rides, and so much more. We had a great season with a lot of players leading or almost leading in conference stats. I think of this group of seniors that I had the privilege to coach the past 2 years. Carly Blizzard, Kaylee Bond, Trinae Chambly, Hannah Daggett, and Hannah Ferry. You 5 seniors were such a joy to coach. Our 2 team captains, Carly and Trinae, you were exactly what team captains were supposed to be. You both are full of loyalty and respect for your teammates and for me as your coach. Haley, you worked hard and you never complained. You loved the game and it showed. Hannah Daggett, you grew so much as a player this year and became a dominant front row hitter. Hannah Ferry, you were everyone's comic relief, especially mine. You could get fired up, sometimes too much. You may have had more red cards than any player I've ever coached. You knew when to be serious and when to work hard and when to make us all laugh. To our seniors, I have loved every minute of our journey, and I know you will do great things in the future. I will miss you 5 terribly, and I hope that you know I'm always just a phone call away. Okay, now I will tell you the all-conference awards. We had 4 all-conference players. They were Carly Blizzard, Haley Bond, Hannah Daggett, and Michaela Knaus. Now for our team awards. I decided to give 3 coaches awards this year. To me, the coaches award is given to someone who demonstrates leadership, sportsmanship, respect, a true teammate, and is coachable. The first coaches award is going to a player that I adore. This player is the definition of a great teammate and a great team player. She came to practice every day and put in the work. She worked as hard as she could and never complained. When I started back at Camden coaching 2 years ago, I remember her in the first couple of practice, and I would always think she was so sweet, kind, and respectful. I don't know if she will remember this or not, but I could not pronounce her name at first. She always answered me no matter what I said, and I will remember that forever. All the girls would laugh at me, and she would just roll with it. Looking back, it makes me love her even more because she just didn't complain. She just answered to whatever I said. I finally got it right after a little bit, and the rest has been great. She has a deep love for the game of volleyball, and it shows. She probably is the most encouraging player on our team. She knew when to lift her teammates up, and in return, she gained everyone's respect. She was chosen to be one of the team captains, and I could not have agreed more. This player is going off to North Carolina Wesleyan College next year, and I know she's going to do great things. I will miss your team spirit and your smile more than you know. The Coach's Award goes to Trinace Champley. The next Coach's Award is going to go to a player that caught my eye from day one. This player came in working hard every day and wanted to get better and better. She also wanted her teammates around her to get better. I used to think she had springs in her shoes when she would do agility drills in practice because she was so fast and could jump really high. She had a calm confidence, but also would get pumped up if one of her teammates put the ball down. She could read the floor well and could anticipate moves from the other teams. She is someone who her teammates and myself could trust on the court in game situations. I knew she could do and would do whatever it took. She was chosen by her team as one of the team captains, and rightly so. She had 139 kills, 26 aces, 169 digs, 5th in the conference in digs, 6th in the conference in hitting percentage, and 6th in the conference in blocking. I think she liked to win just as much as me. I'm really going to miss her next year. The Coach's Award goes to Carly Blizzard. The last Coach's Award goes to a player that made me say wow at the first time on the net in practice when she hit the ball her senior year. She came back in the gym with a confidence and a hit that wasn't like anyone else on the floor. She still had no idea how good she was, but that's what makes her who she is. She dominated at the net this year with her kills and her blocks, and still, she didn't realize how good she was. She had a calmness to her, but every now and then, she would bust out a joke that make us all laugh. In game situations, when we needed a big block or a sharp cut, she would come up strong for us. She tried so hard in practice to hit back corners, and she always wanted to serve the ball one more time to try to hit the cones. She led our team and the conference with 65 blocks, and led our team and was second in the conference with hitting percentage. She was a force at the net, and we are really going to miss her next year. The last Coach's Award goes to Hannah Daggett. Lastly, we had 2 anonymous donors donate money for a one-time volleyball scholarship this year. The volleyball scholarship goes to Trinace Champley. Congratulations, Trinace. Thank you.
Good morning. Good afternoon. The 2019 soccer season was one of my most memorable seasons. The 2019-2020 class of seniors was my first 4-year senior class. I have coached for 7 years, 3 years at Pasquotank, and I just completed my 4th year here at Camden. We had a very impressive year, and I'm so proud of every player on this team. This was one of my most well-rounded teams. I told the team at the beginning of the year, if we didn't have at least 4 guys with at least 8 goals, we were not going to do well. We lost our leading scorer from the year before that posted 34 goals. The team totaled 62 goals this year to 55 goals the year before. This high-powered and well-rounded team helped us advance to the 3rd round of state playoffs, which I had never been to before, and we defeated Manio for the first time since I have been a coach. Now, for our all-conference awards. Our all-conference awards go to Luke Wiseman, Spencer Middleton, Ryan Berry, Max Hostel, Noah Kelly, and Nate Graham. Now on to our all-region. Our all-region awards went to Luke Wiseman, Nate Graham, Noah Kelly, and Max Hostel. Now for our next set of awards. Our Coach's Award will go to the athlete that had 2 games this year where he scored 3 or more goals during a game. This player had a lot of heart and was one of the toughest players on the team. He would not turn away if someone was disrespecting him or one of his fellow teammates. This player got hurt at the end of our season, but came to every practice and every game, even though he was not able to participate. This athlete was Tanner Pittman. He finished the season with 8 goals and 5 assists. Offensive Player of the Year. This athlete led the team in assists and had 2 clutch free kicks to help advance us through the first and second round of state playoffs. Noah Kelly had 11 goals and 8 assists. He continues to get better each year, and I cannot wait to see what he does next year as a senior. Our next award is the Golden Boot Award. This athlete scored his 2 most important goals of his career in the same game. The first goal was a 40-yard missile against Manio to put us ahead by 1. Manio would eventually score to tie the game and go into overtime. Then during overtime, while we were in penalty shootouts, Alex Cohen shot his penalty kick. It rung off the goalpost and rolled in the net under the keeper to put us ahead once again. We ended up winning this game in overtime. The Golden Boot Award goes to Alex Cohen. Our next award is the Most Outstanding Player Award. This player was a great leader, most improved, and our highest goal scorer this year. When you talk about a well-rounded player, it is Nate Grimm. He has played every position on the soccer field for the Bruins from keeper to striker. He had keeper stats of 1 goal against and 1 save, with a total of 2 shots against him. His offensive stats this past year were more impressive, with 11 goals and 4 assists, not including his PKs. When you include Nate's PKs, this year he had a total of 14 goals. Now, for our final award, the MVP award. This player would have never thought about MVP until his junior year when he got a little bigger and a ton better. This player was a wall for us inside the 18, but not so much a force on the field when the whole team got to watch him play striker for 10 minutes. Luke Wiseman saved 150 shots on goal and only allowed 25 goals in 21 total games. Luke Wiseman was also runner-up for the Conference Player of the Year recognition. Now, I wish all of my seniors good luck in their future endeavors, and I will hopefully see all of my returning athletes in the next few weeks. Thank you.
Next up is football. In June, when Coach Josh Sophia stepped on campus, there was new life being breathed into the football program from the first day. We had the best summer attendance in years, more kids involved. We got to the fall season, and we were much more competitive than we've been in quite a few years. As we move forward, I think the success will continue. I truly believe in this coach, and I truly believe in these young men that have been working so hard. We're ready to get back there on that field. We were lucky enough to have 5 young men named to the all-conference team. Isaiah Hill, Jaden Walton, Jaden Richardson, Jackson Nobles, and Reed Robeson. Our football awards. Our offensive MVP first, and that's Jaden Richardson. Jay Rich became a big playmaker for us at the running back position. He averaged over 6 yards a carry, scored 7 touchdowns, and gave us a legitimate home run threat in the backfield. He had multiple 100-yard plus games. He was also a vital piece for us on defense and special teams. Jaden is now serving our country in the U.S. Army, and we are proud of him and wish him nothing but the best. Offensive Lineman of the Year. This young man led our offensive line as our starting center. He brought great enthusiasm and work ethic with him from the first day of workouts until his last game. His versatility to snap under center and shotgun allowed our offense to be more multiple. As a center, it was his job to make all of our blocking calls and pass protections. He also saw a lot of action on the defensive side of the ball, where he provided us depth and helped stop the run. He will also finish his schooling at Camden Early College next year. We are proud of him and wish him nothing but the best. Our offensive lineman of the year is Andrew Coombs. Our defensive lineman of the year, Jaden Walton. Those who know J-Wall know he is a quiet leader, but when he cranks that motor up, he's very tough to block. He is one of the best offensive tackles in the conference, but his defensive ability is where he shines. We used him inside and outside on the defensive front. Despite constant double teams, he still managed 44 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, and 3.5 sacks. We are fortunate to have Jaden returning to us for his senior year and look forward to big things out of this great young man. Our defensive MVP, Isaiah Hill. Zay is one of the most physical defenders that we put on the field. He is long and athletic, which makes him a dual threat on defense. He can play a deep safety, or he can come down and play the wide side of the field. Zay had 5 pass breakups, 2 forced fumbles, a sack, and 48 tackles, while also leading the team in receiving on offense. We look forward to big things from Zay in years to come. Bruin Award, Sam Gwill. Anyone that ever watched us play will never question Sam's grit. Sam has a great passion and love for Camden County football, and it shows on the field. As a quarterback, it's important to lead, and he leads by example, never missing a workout, putting in work on his own, and putting in extra work before and after practice. He is the ultimate teammate. He would play offensive tackle if we asked him to. In addition to playing quarterback, Sam is also the team's punter. We are excited to have Sam back for his senior year. Our final Bruin Award goes to Jackson Nobles. As the season progressed, Jackson stood out more and more on both sides of the football. He became an excellent blocker on offense and a good ball carrier when called upon. Defensively is where he improved the most, though. Playing inside linebacker, he got better each game due to the fact that he was highly coachable and wanted to compete. He led the team with 76 tackles while adding 3 fumble recoveries and a pick. We look forward to having Jackson back for his senior year. Next up is men's and women's swimming. Again, I am speaking as Coach Furlong. This season started out as a shocker for me. I was worried through the spring, over the summer, and through the fall how our boys team would manage, how just a couple young men would make it after their predecessors had graduated and moved on. I kept telling Gabe Snider he needed to do some recruiting. Well, he and the women's team did not fail. I was in awe of the turnout. Now, don't get me wrong, there was work to do, but it was all worth it. The boys team came in 3rd place in the conference. However, they were still able to send some good relay teams and an individual to the regionals. We had illnesses hit the team from the start, especially in late December through the rest of the season. We learned how important nutrition is for participating in the water and how many calories a person can use within 1 hour of swimming in the pool. We had arguments and we fixed them as a team. We learned to relax a little bit, and the team learned how to pay attention to their body mechanics so they didn't get a Charlie horse during the breaststroke in the middle of a race. I want to thank co-captain Andrew Coombs, Jackson Nobles, Christian Carrion, Darnell Santiago, Brady Bryant, Christian Cooper, Thomas White, Aiden Yu, and last but not least, our captain Gabe Snider. You men impressed from the start. You're willing to stick with it and fight through something that some of you are not in the least expecting, and you stuck with it. You will never know how much I appreciate you and you all this season. Senior and transfers, you will be greatly missed, but you taught me that we can keep the team alive. Thank you. To Logan Sawyer, Autumn Healy, Hannah Healy, Grace Healy, and Mackenzie Rollins. You ladies, we watched and helped each other grow from the day we stepped on the pool deck your freshman year. To see you all move on is such an honor. To have you trust me when things were rough, for me to let go and give you the reins and take leadership, for your inputs and guidance from a modern-day teen's perspective. I'm greatly humbled to have been a small part of your life. I will miss you and look forward to seeing what you do in the future. The rest of you young ladies, Paige Strecker, Caroline Lilly, Mackenzie Booth, Stella Sophia, Alyssa Healy, Victoria Royal, Yana Kronthaler, Zoe Davis, Isabella Bowler, and Caroline O'Neill. I should never have been surprised by what you ladies were able to accomplish. However, once again, you amaze me. We sent 3 ladies relay teams to the regionals and 2 events. You surprised yourselves at what you were able to do. Paige Strucker has always PR'd in her events no matter what she swam. She went on to state swimming in the 100 fly. The ladies team finished the season with 2 first-place seasonal wins. Thank you, team. Thank you, parents, for your support, information, and nutrition to the team. Thank you, Mrs. Davis, Ms. Reeves, and the Board of Education for allowing me to be here another year. It is an honor. On to the awards. These are voted on by their fellow teammates. The most improved area also can be called Rookie of the Year. These 2 individuals came out with personality that helped the team and inspired us all. The male Rookie of the Year goes to Jackson Nobles. Jackson went from not putting his face in the water and exhausting himself to cutting his time down 35 seconds. Ladies Rookie of the Year goes to a young lady who had some guidance coming in and shows some great potential for the upcoming season, Isabella Bowler. Isabella is willing to try all the swim strokes and cut her time down by an average of 20 seconds, but mostly improved in her sprint on the 50-yard freestyle. Our female MVP goes to a lady who is able to qualify in any of the races within the first week of the season. She has high hopes and dreams and expects high standards and to be pushed even harder. I am looking forward to bringing new ideas to her next season so she can go even farther in the state competition. Our MVP, Paige Strucker. Our male MVP goes to a young man who was voted male captain from his fellow teammates. I call him Young Gabe. Gabe Snider is a leader and excels at all of his races. He is a great all-around swimmer, meaning I can put him in any race and any stroke and he will draw the points we need. Gabe did a phenomenal job of recruiting in the off-season to help make sure we had a relay team. I think little did he know how well he would turn out to be. He qualified for the regionals in relays and in the 500-yard freestyle. He was also named the Male Conference Swimmer of the Year. He will be greatly missed next season. Good luck, Gabe. My final award is Coach's Award. I created this award for one who has inspired the teammates, community, and coach. This one has leadership, but does not give up when knocked down. This one gives unconditionally their heart and their physical competitiveness. This Coach's Award goes to a senior who her teammates routinely look up to for guidance. She was asked to get things done when she had them out, and she had to pull them out of her hat like a magician. She never showed weakness, and she was always greeted a new day with a new challenge, it seemed. Mackenzie Rollins, I've watched you grow the last 4 years, and it is a great pleasure to present the Coach's Award to you on behalf of your teammates. Good luck at the United States Coast Guard Academy. I am very proud of you. Thank you, Bruins. Thank you, seniors. Have a great summer. Stay safe, stay healthy. Now to women's basketball. Although the record didn't show, our girls basketball team was much improved this year. Against the first place team in the conference, we were very competitive, first through fifth. We were very competitive with all those teams being in so many games in the fourth quarter. And now for the awards. Most improved player. This sophomore posted top 5 stats in steals third, rebounds third, and scoring fourth. These stats were the result of hard work in the offseason and a strong desire to improve her game. Our most improved player goes to Keely Williams. Our Coach's Award. This young lady had a team high free throw percentage, and two-point field goal shooting percentage, as well as the second leading rebounder. She was also named to the All-Area team. Her major contribution to the team, however, was her strong desire to do whatever it took to help the team achieve success, and that included doing whatever was asked to her by the coaching staff. Our Coaches Award goes to Kennedy Lighty. Finally, our MVP. This season, this senior guard was named to the All-Tournament team at the South Creek Christmas Classic. She was named first team All-Area and All-Conference. She led the team in scoring and was second in three-point field goals made. She stepped up to play the point guard position this year when the team needed her to, despite the fact that this is not her natural position. Her hustle, hard play, and determination earned this well-deserved award. Our most valuable player is Ferry. Shay was also named All-Conference. JV basketball. Again, in Ed Rom's voice. First of all, I'd like to thank me, Ms. Davis, and the rest of the Camden County High School administration. I would like to thank the parents, the players for all their effort, and to Bernie Stasko for looking out for student athletes' safety. JV sports is about improvement more than wins and losses. Two of the players that helped the team stay focused to help us improve were our two captains, Carlton Harold and Romeo Paxton, and I feel they deserve recognition for a job well done. We finished the year with a record of 8-12, finishing third in the conference. Now for the awards. Most improved goes to a kid that has a shooter's mentality that I love. He truly believes that the next shot is going in. He hit 5 threes in single halves in 2 games against Northside and Manio. He led the team with 44 three-pointers made. Our most improved award goes to Matt Benita. The MVP award goes to the only returning player from last year. He led us in scoring with 14 points per game. He led the team in rebounds and played all 5 positions on offense and defended all 5 positions on defense. Our MVP award goes to Charlie Pittman. And I got to mention this wasn't in Ed's speech. I have been stopped by I don't know how many people that have told me that every time they go by this young man's house, he is in the driveway working on this game, and he's making the most of all this spare time. All right, so he's not sitting around and he's getting something out of that, and I appreciate that, Charlie. I appreciate that effort during this time. Now for varsity basketball. First, I got some thank yous. Thank you to Ed Rom, who does anything I ask, whether it's cover a workout, whether it's work a kid out on a Saturday, a variety of things. So thank you, Ed. Thank you, Coach Sundberg, for helping me this season. A big help on the court and keeps me loose and entertained off the court. Ricky Kraniak for his time. Jake Thornton for working the clock every home game. Skylar and Carly for keeping the books. Jet, John Thompson for keeping that camera. Jake's son, Jay Rich, and DJ Kyle for being our managers this season. All right, talk about the season. We were 17-10 overall and third in a very good conference where the teams that finished ahead of us, Washington County and Eatonton, were in the top 5 in the state. I felt like we improved as the season went on, which is a sign of a good team. This group of seniors was a group that really worked and improved in the off-season, consistently had the gym full before 7 a.m. for all 4 of their years. Those seniors were Deshaun Martin, Jaquan Cordy, Carlton Harold, Brad Harold, Reed Robeson, Tanner Pippin, and Tim Idle. Just a super group, really fun. I watched these guys grow up into fine young men and really good basketball players. Now for our awards. We were lucky enough to have 2 young men make all conference. They were Brad Harold and Tim Idle. We had the same 2 made all area. Tim Idle and Brad Harold, and Andre Barnett was honorable mention all area. And Tim made all region second team by the voted on by the North Carolina Basketball Coaches Association. Now to our team awards. First, the Hustle Award. This year was good because it could have gone to more than 1 person or 2 people or 3 people even. because we got a group of guys that really plays hard. And you know, the best compliment for me as a coach is not, man, your team can shoot, man, your team can do this or that, or they run their stuff or whatever. Best compliment as a coach is, man, your kids play hard. All right, because that means they bought into your program. And this young man has truly bought in. He will guard anybody you tell him to guard. In our last game of the season, he's guarding a kid that signed with UNC Wilmington, Division I, full scholarship. And 5 seconds into the game, the kid had to elbow Reed in the nose to get him off. Reed blew the blood out of his nose and was ready to go back in as quick as we could stop him. He took 12 charges this year. He frustrated everybody he guarded, and just a very tough kid. The mascot of a Marine is a bulldog, and they are truly getting a bulldog and somebody that's going to fight. I feel a little bit safer with Reed out there. Our first Coach's Award. This young man came incredibly far in his 4 years. His freshman year, I worried about him. Didn't say a word and played like he wasn't going to say a word. But he became stronger and tougher and spent time in the gym working and became one of our most consistent guys. And he's led us in rebounding 2 years in a row. And he's a great teammate. Our first Coach's Award goes to Carlton Harold. Our next Coach's Award. This young man took on the challenge of being our point guard as a sophomore and led us in assists, steals, and charges taken. He is absolutely fearless despite not being a real big guy. He's never satisfied and very hungry, which is going to make him a great player down the road. Our Coach's Award goes to Andre Barnett. MVP. I actually did 2, because importance is huge and value, as the most valuable player is. This young man spent more time in the gym and the weight room than anybody in a lot of years. His strength gains showed this year as he scored over 80 of his field goals inside of 8 feet, which is impressive for someone not real big and doesn't jump particularly well. Toughness and will are 2 words that describe this young man. I hope younger players were paying attention so they can set goals and attack them as he did. Our first MVP is Brad Harold. Our next MVP, this young man scored 1,208 points in his career, hit 225 three-pointers. He shot over 70% from the line for his career. This season, he averaged 16.5 points and 5.4 rebounds. He really put in the time these 4 years and made this program his priority. I don't think he is done playing basketball, so stay tuned for his next announcement. Our next MVP is Tim Idle. Next, we're going to go through our major awards. First is the Ben Gray Scholarship. The Ben Gray Scholarship was established during the 2007-2008 school year to honor longtime booster member and Camden County High School athletic supporter Ben Gray. Mr. Ben was always around our program helping out in any way that he could. But he was probably most well known for his work in the concession stand where he donated hundreds of hours to our student athletes and fans. The athletic boosters sponsor various fundraisers and with help from an anonymous donor provide these scholarships. This year, 5 awards will be given in the amount of $1,500 each. The 5 recipients are Bradley Harold, Tanner Pittman, Shay Ferry, Mackenzie Rawlings, and Riley Pingree. Our next awards are the Triple Crown Awards. And this number gets smaller every year. The good thing is we got a pretty large freshman and sophomore class, so we can kind of keep this thing going. The Triple Crown Award goes to athletes who participated in a sport each of the 3 seasons. With sports specialization running wild in the United States because everybody's going to be drafted by the major leagues or the NBA or the NFL or whatever, kids are only playing one sport. I commend those that play multiple sports. Nothing against the ones that don't, but in a school like Camden, we could use our better athletes playing more than one, and I applaud those that do. From the freshman class, Triple Crown Award winners, Brady Bryant, Jaden Clark, Elena Compton, Jordan Cooper, Brandon James, Jace McFadden, Caroline Payton, Romeo Paxton, and Stella Sophia. From our sophomore class, Alina Brady, Mackenzie Booth, Christian Carrion, Kennedy Lighty, Amaya Mitchell, Jasmine Paxton, Victoria Royal, Darnell Santiago, Gabe Snider, Keely Williams, and Brianna Wilson. From our junior class, Jackson Nobles, Dasani Parker, and Indiana Williams. And from our senior class, Hannah Fairby, Autumn Healy, Grace Healy, Hannah Healy, Andrew Coombs, Ethan Osborne, Tanner Pippin, and Mackenzie Rollins. Next are our Roper Awards. The Roper Awards were established in the 1989-1990 school year to honor longtime Camden County High School principal and ardent supporter of athletics, Mr. Bill Roper. He was my principal, as well as many of you seated in the audience tonight. The three-sport athlete in this age of specialization is few and far between. These athletes make many sacrifices to play three sports and exemplify and glorify Mr. Roper and all that he stood for. The criteria for this Roper Award is that you must participate in at least three sports all 4 years of high school. The Triple Crown winners are good indicators of who will receive this at the end of their senior years. This year's recipients are Autumn Healy, Hannah Healy, and Mackenzie Rollins. Next is the Athletic Director's Best of the Best Award. This job was started by Coach Jones a few years back, understanding that we cannot do this job by ourselves as athletic directors. We need administration, we need Allison Harris badly, we need our fellow coaches, and students are always huge helps because you can get stuff done during the school day, or they can go out and talk to teammates and be leaders and become huge helps. I appreciate all that they do to help. 3 seniors in particular went above and beyond this year to assist me. First is a young lady. You heard her spoken about during the swim talk. I think she's kept a stat in every sport but basketball because she was swimming during that time, during the school year. She's also played soccer, swam. She's going to the United States Coast Guard Academy next year, where she'll have to display leadership. But if I needed something done, needed somebody to talk to, I always went to this young lady. Our first best of the best goes to Mackenzie Rollins. These next 2 young men were part of my team country, but prior to that, whether they were in my weight training class and I needed the baseball field coolers filled up or concession stands set up, these guys were the guys I called on. Ironically, yesterday as I mowed grass, these 2 young men showed up on their own to drag the baseball field and to go out there with rakes and rake up weeds after they had been sprayed. They take that serious. They really care about this school. Our 2 young men that are getting the best of the best are Caden Pipkin and Wyatt Norfleet. The Terrell Munden Athlete of the Year Award. The Terrell Munden Athlete of the Year Award was established in 2000 to honor former Camden County High School athlete Terrell Munden, who lost his life in a tragic auto accident almost a year after graduation from high school. Terrell was a tremendous 3-sport star who excelled in football, basketball, and track for 4 years. His natural ability was only surpassed by his tremendous competitiveness on the court and on the field. To be mentioned in the same breath with him is an outstanding achievement. We have a female and a male award. First, the female. It's very rare that we have a Division I scholarship athlete in the halls of Camden County High School. Much less a full ride in the sport that typically doesn't give full rides. This young lady was a 3-year starter on the basketball team and a 4-year starter in the circle for our softball team. She recently signed to, again, a full scholarship to Charleston Southern University to pitch. Our first Munden Award winner, our female Munden Award winner, goes to Haley Bunting. Our boys Munden Award, or we say men's Munden Award, goes to a young man who really might be the definition of student athlete. Top 5 in his class president, and a sign of character is what you do when nobody's watching. I don't think I've ever had to open up the weight room as much as I have for him. Whether I'm mowing grass or out here doing whatever, he's trying to get in the weight room and lift, which is rare for us coaches. We wish we had more of them. On the baseball field, he was a 3-year starter, all conference. On the basketball court, he was a 3-year varsity player, a 2-year starter, also all conference. And again, a role model. His work ethic should be a role model for all the young men in our school building. Our male Munden Athlete of the Year award goes to Bradley Harold. Our final awards are the Jeremy Mcpherson Heart of a Bruin Award. In November 2012, we all endured a great tragedy in the loss of Jeremy Mcpherson. We all saw an outpouring of support from our community, but especially from our kids here. When I think of Jeremy, I think of the quiet, unassuming, big smiling, fun to be around, fine, upstanding young man that he was. High school athletics is supposed to teach lessons that will be essential for use later in life, such as integrity, character, sportsmanship, and citizenship. All qualities that Jeremy possessed. To honor Jeremy, as well as the fighting spirit of our student athletes in our community, each year we will continue to award a young man and a young lady with this award in his name. Up until this year, Jeremy's parents have been gracious enough to present these awards. But this is a different kind of awards thing, and I'm sure they will come back to present them next year. Both of these recipients are well liked by their peers, role models to younger students, and both have positive, giving attitudes that Jeremy would appreciate. First, our young lady. Believe it or not, my eyes are on you as you go for, and especially when you become a senior, when I'm trying to figure out candidates for these awards. And in a day of nobody being satisfied with their playing time, which I get, I want everybody to want to play more, but I also want everybody to want to play more and understand different situations. But to be a great teammate, whether things are going bad or good for you, you still cheer for your teammates. This young lady didn't play a ton for her team, but she was the loudest person on the bench. And when I really noticed, I noticed throughout the year, and her coaches spoke, so great about her. The volleyball video at the end of the year, when they were showing, Coach Robertson did the video of each senior, highlights from throughout the year. She was cheering for her teammates during the highlight video. And that's what we need more athletes to step outside themselves, say it's not about me, and cheer your teammates on and be a great teammate. This young lady is a great teammate, has a great smile. I had to start calling her Trinace, even though I called her TT for a long time. But our first recipient of the Jeremy Mcpherson Heart of a Bruin is Miss Trinace Shamblin. For our young man, this young man is one of the quietest people I've ever coached. But his teammates swear that he talks a lot that I just don't hear. I actually caught him earlier this year say something I was proud that he was actually loud about. Never complains about playing time, never shows jealousy towards teammates, comes in, does his work, leaves. He's just a positive, all-around good guy. When I got him saying good morning and smiling at me, man, it made my days. Our Jeremy Mcpherson Heart of a Brewing Award goes to this young man off the basketball team, Mr. Carlton Harold. That concludes our awards. I do want to say mistakes have been made in the past. They might have been made again. Triple Crown is tricky to track. I do encourage you. This will be posted on YouTube for a limited amount of time. I don't want it up there forever because I hate talking in front of a camera and seeing myself. So enjoy for a little while and it may be gone. Again, I remind you to stay tuned to the Camden County High School Athletics Facebook page as well as the Camden County High School Facebook page, updating you on summer workouts, tryouts, and how sports may be affected by this pandemic right now. Thank you. See you this summer.